You can hear it. It's not just the sound of the earth moving. It's not just the involuntary friction of rocks deep within the earth's mantle. What is happening beneath our feet at this very moment is the whisper of an ancient prophecy that is finally finding its voice. In recent days, the structure of the planet seems to tremble under an invisible weight. In August 2026, the month of sorrow, a month that Satan worshippers in fact used to access the most powerful entities of hell, the Earth's crust sent a shockwave that echoed from southern Peru to the deepest structures of Chile.
A severe magnitude 6.7 quake hit the coastal region, making cities shake, buildings sway, and thousands of people died.
And the earthquake in Peru and Chile was not an isolated event. It wasn't a whim of secular geology. While the dust was still settling in the Andes, the earth kept shaking.
Nicaragua, Venezuela, Colombia,
Among others, in an uninterrupted sequence of tremors that has been cutting across the American continent and spreading to the four corners of the globe. The question that echoes in the hearts of Bible scholars is no longer if this will happen, but rather what exactly began this very moment. And if you want to find out with me, grab your spaghetti with meatballs and spicy ketchup right now, and let's start our Bible studies segment. The newspapers report the technical data, depths of dozens of kilometers, epicenters in the ocean or in the mountains, reports of panic and infrastructure damage. Scientists try to calm the population by saying that these are normal movements of active tectonic faults. However, when we look at the global map today, it's immediately clear, even to a layperson, that the pattern is not normal. Absolutely not. What science calls a seismic swarm, or the release of accumulated energy, faith, and prophecy, reveal to be imminent birth pains. Planet Earth is going into convulsions. Nicaragua is shaking. The fertile soils of Colombia are trembling. The city in Venezuela feels the ground sinking continuously. The frequency of these events has increased in a startling way. They are no longer earthquakes spaced by decades or centuries. They're happening simultaneously, and it's a prophetic chain reaction. To better understand what these earthquakes in southern Peru, Chile, Nicaragua, and Colombia mean, we need to go back 2,000 years in time. This time,
we are now on the Mount of Olives. Jesus of Nazareth is sitting with his disciples, contemplating the grandeur of the temple in Jerusalem. And it is there that the disciples ask the crucial question that would echo through the millennia.
Matthew 24 verse 3. Tell us, when will these things happen, and what will be the sign of your coming and of the end of the world? Christ's answer was not speculation, but a detailed map of the end times. Among the various detailed signs, wars, rumors of wars, plagues, and famines, he highlighted an incredible geophysical element, easily mistaken. It's in Matthew 24 verses 7 and 8. For nation will rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there will be famines and plagues, and earthquakes in various places. But all these things are the beginning of sorrows. Pay attention to the original expression used in biblical Greek, odi. This word does not mean just any pain. It is specifically used to describe the labor pains of a woman about to give birth. What is the fundamental characteristic of labor pains? They start off weak and far apart, but as the moment of birth approaches, two things inevitably happen. The frequency increases and the intensity becomes unbearable. There have always been earthquakes throughout human history. That's a fact. Skeptics will even say, the earth has always trembled, and they're right.
However, the prophetic fulfillment is not in the mere occurrence of an isolated earthquake, but in the frequency and simultaneity.
When you see a 6.7 earthquake shaking Peru and Chile at the same time,
And almost at the same moment,
the earth's crust responds in Nicaragua. Vibrate in Venezuela and shake structures in Colombia. The frequency has changed. The interval between the pains has radically decreased, similar to a woman about to give birth. The earth is having contraction. She is groaning under the curse of sin and under the weight of the heavenly decrees, as the apostle wrote in the epistle to the Romans. For we know that the whole creation together groans and is in labor pains until now. Romans 8:22. The tremor that Chileans and Peruvians felt under their feet is not just the Nazca plate colliding with the South American plate. It is God's creation groaning and the divine alarm sounding for a generation that has fallen asleep spiritually. If the beginnings of birth pains, mentioned in Matthew 24, and the preparation phase, the book of Revelation, John's Apocalypse, details the climax of this global crisis. In the Apocalypse, earthquakes stop being regional warnings and become cosmic judgments. Let's open the holy text to chapter 6 of the Apocalypse. During the opening of the sixth seal, and when the sixth seal was opened, I looked, and behold, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black, as sackcloth made of hair, and the moon became like blood, and the kings of the earth, the great men, the rich men, the commanders, and the mighty men hid themselves in the caves and among the rocks of the mountains.
you who regularly watch our videos know that this is not influencer talk or anything like that. The videos are there as real, irrefutable evidence.
And this isn't something new. These videos have been showing this for a long time.
Several big names, including celebrities, multi-billionaires, and developers of the world's leading technologies, have been following this trend for years now. And this trend is building bunkers. We have several videos spanning many years. We've been around for 12 years, and many videos have been made showing exactly that.
We even mentioned that the owner of Meta, Mark Zuckerberg, started building something never seen before, a true underground city. And he even required all the workers on that project to sign a strict confidentiality agreement. That's why we don't have many leaked images of the place. Only one or another person who didn't have much to lose came forward and told the truth. We have this video here, and the Bible says exactly that. Look, something written 2,000 years ago accurately predicted what just happened. Observe the progression we're witnessing today in the Americas, in Chile. My brother, look anywhere in the world, especially now in Chile, Peru, Colombia, and Nicaragua, and you can see the preliminary tremors. It's the shaking of the pillars of the earth, warning that the great earthquake of the sixth seal is approaching quickly. An event of such colossal proportions that it will change the topography of nations and make the most powerful leaders in the world seek refuge in underground bunkers. Modern humans have built a civilization based on pride and the illusion of permanence.
We have built mirrored skyscrapers, gigantic bridges, and complex digital networks. And we believe because of this that we are in control of everything simply because we have these things at our disposal.
But just 30 seconds of a magnitude 6.7 tremor are enough for all human pride to collapse in the blink of an eye. Just 30 seconds are enough for reinforced concrete to turn to dust and for the electricity to go out. God uses the earth itself to remind humanity of its extreme fragility. In Hebrews 12:26-27, it says, "Once more I will shake not only the earth, but also heaven." And this is the word. Once more means the removal of what can be shaken, that is, created things, so that what cannot be shaken may remain. And then I ask, what can stand when the ground beneath your feet is taken away? Nothing material can save man on the day of the Lord's wrath. Honestly, my brothers, while I was making those videos about millionaires running to bunkers, thinking they'll survive the sacred prophecies, I don't get much amusement out of it. The tremors in South and Central America are called God's mercy. Painful warnings designed to awaken man from his illusion of self-sufficiency. God without us is everything. Without God, we are nothing. For the world without faith, this sequence of earthquakes in Peru, Chile, Nicaragua, Colombia, and Venezuela is a cause for panic, despair, and desolation. But for the genuine Christian, for the one who knows the scriptures, the reaction to these signs should not be fear, but awakening. Let us remember the words of Jesus himself when he referred to this time of tremors and social upheaval. Luke 21:28. Now when these things begin to happen, look up and lift up your heads, because your redemption is near. Earthquakes are not a sign that evil has won. They are the footsteps of the King drawing near. The beginning of sorrows assures us that human history is not adrift. There is a supreme God on the throne of the universe who has marked every second of history and is carrying out his sovereign plan.
We are living, my noble and dear brothers, in the final minutes of God's clock. The earth's crust cries out. Seismographs around the world are recording an unparalleled increase in energy. The prophecies are being fulfilled before our eyes, broadcast live on our cell phone screens. There is no more time for spiritual lukewarmness.
There is no more time to keep up appearances. If the physical structure on which you build your life can collapse at any moment, where is your true rock? Christ is the unshakable rock. He who hears his words and puts them into practice is like the wise man who built his house on the rock. The storms came, the earth shook, the buildings fell, but that house did not fall because it was founded on eternal truth. May every tremor recorded in southern Peru, in Chile, in Nicaragua, in Colombia, and why not in Japan and other countries, wherever it may happen on earth, may this serve as a trumpet call to our souls. We don't know how long we will go through this, because minutes on God's clock can be years. But one thing is certain, this has never been seen before on earth. And we are more and more certain that yes, we are going through the beginning of the birth pains. The King, my dear brothers, is coming back. It's time to get ready. Think about it, my brother, because this video ends here. I hope you enjoyed it and, above all, understood it. If that's the case, please share it. Show it to more people, because that's the only way we'll make any difference. Especially when we talk about spiritual matters, it's good to remember, my brothers, that there is no other chance. Whoever lets the opportunity pass won't have another chance. The time is now. Personally, my brothers, as many of you have already said, and I agree and fully support it, the apocalypse has long since stopped being a source of fear and has become a hope, especially speaking from where we are now. With the increase of wickedness and the lack of repentance among people, people are becoming more and more lovers of themselves. I'm sure we'll still talk a lot about these phenomena that will intensify more and more.
Write down what I'm saying.
That's it for today. Once again, may God bless each one of you. Hugs to you, my dear brothers and sisters.
Stay in God's presence, and boom!